Esteemed Comrade Chairman of the Examination Board, the prime crew of the Soyuz TMA-16 vehicle is ready for the final exams. And first of all, happy birthday, Mr. Chairman, all the very best. Happy birthday, our birthday greetings. Yes, the best gift for me will be your excellent grades. Yes, of course, not less than 5. Now please choose your test papers. Should we put our signatures on the envelopes? Yes, please. Happy birthday once again. You know, our crew is your favorite, correct? So the best grades for us, please. I'm sure that you will do great during your exams. Thank you so much. Okay, so half of the grade will be a bonus in honor of my birthday, in honor of the chairman of the examination board birthday. Okay, thank you. I will keep the envelopes as a memento with your signatures. Gennady Ivanovich, could you please join hands? Thank you so much. Of course, we look like grasshoppers. Thank you so much, and good luck during your exams. We are not strapped in yet. Of course, I will have to reconfigure the cameras. Now I'm removing the plug and putting it into a pocket here.
Emily Nelson, lead flight director of Expedition 46. Emily, by the time that you get on board as the flight director of Expedition 46, Scott Kelly and his Russian crewmate Mikhail Kornienko will have been on board the space station for about 8 months. What are some of the key tasks and activities and research they expect to have done during that time?
A lot of 2015 is going to be devoted to reconfiguring the space station to make way for the U.S. crewed vehicles that will be showing up in the next several years. And to that end, we're moving several pieces of the space station around. We're going to take our PMM module and we're going to move that. And we're going to move our pressurized mating adapter that's currently on our Node 3 module, and we're going to move that over to Node 2. So at the end of all of this moving things around, we're going to have 2 docking ports. That's how we refer to it when a crewed vehicle shows up and attaches to the space station on the front of the space station. And then we'll have 2 berthing ports, that's the term we use for cargo vehicles, on the bottom of the space station. So he'll be involved, and the whole crew over the course of the next year will be involved in all of those relocations and the wiring and the laying cables for all of those different docking ports. Then we also have the Bigelow expandable module, the beam, that's going to be coming on a SpaceX mission. That'll get installed, inflated, and then checked out periodically.
Can you talk specifically about some of the roles that Scott Kelly will be doing during his time on board and transitioning from the role of flight engineer eventually to commander, and how his duties are going to change?
In terms of how Scott's work is going to change over the course of the year, he'll start out as a flight engineer, which is how each of our commanders starts out. It's kind of part of our handover process so that they have a chance to get acclimated, get used to the work. And then over the course of time, we'll see a number of commanders, and he'll ultimately become commander before he leaves, so that he then is responsible for the crew's response in emergency scenarios, generally keeping the crew together in their day-to-day work, and overseeing any kind of not really issues, but any questions that the crew needs to work together, he'll be pulling the team together and working with us on the ground to make sure that both teams are in sync.
You had mentioned that part of the work that Scott and his crew will be doing on board is preparing the International Space Station for the arrival of the International Docking Adapters. Can you talk about any spacewalks that are planned and Scott's role in those?
Absolutely. We'll have a series of spacewalks associated with each docking adapter. The docking adapters will arrive on SpaceX vehicles. We're working now to determine whether we have to install them while SpaceX is docked, which is a bit of a challenge time-wise because SpaceX brings so many things to us in terms of research and cargo. Our hope is we'll be able to relocate those docking adapters so that we can take our time with those spacewalks. Scott, of course, will be key to the spacewalk operations themselves in terms of installing at least one of those docking adapters this summer.
Behind you in a simulator of the Soyuz vehicle right now, Scott Kelly, Soyuz Commander Gennady Padalka, and flight engineer Mikhail Kornienko are undergoing their final exams in preparation for their flight. How do you perceive their level of readiness at this point, and what kind of things, what kind of challenges are they possibly going to be facing during their final exams?
This is an incredibly talented crew and a really pretty senior one. Gennady, of course, is I think at this point has the third most hours of any person in space. So they're in very good hands with Gennady as their Soyuz commander. Today's sim promises to be challenging. I think ultimately it will have been a good workout for them in terms of they'll finish the day feeling accomplished. You don't want too easy of a test because then it doesn't feel as good for these guys. So I think today will be just challenging enough for them to feel good at the end of the day, but they're more than capable of handling what's coming at them today.
And lastly, as we next year prepare for the return home of Mikhail Kornienko and Scott Kelly, what kind of final preparations during Expedition 46 will the crew be making and the flight control team be making in preparation for his return home and the testing of the one-year crew mission ultimately?
You know, we always have a challenge at the end of any crew's time on board, fitting in all of the science that they need to do before they come home, especially the human factors and the medical science that we do on board. Whether it's taking samples or doing last-minute tests and managing to get all of that scheduled before return. An additional challenge for these guys is going to be that they're basically living in their office for an entire year. And so keeping morale up, they're consummate professionals, they're going to do their job well from beginning to end, but just making it a good environment to both live and work in for the entirety of a year. Those last 4 months, that's going to be one of our challenges, is making sure that we keep it upbeat and fun, really. I mean, you want to have fun while you're working, and so we want to make sure that we maintain that all the way to the end.